Hey, once again I'm back here in Age of Conan, and since the last video I have been playing some Star Wars The Old Republic. Got a few characters to level 50 and played enough to find out that it's pretty boring compared to Age of Conan. So I wanted to make a video just trying to explain a little bit why I think still Age of Conan is the best MMO pretty much out there now today. And to start with the most obvious thing, just look at this image we have in front of us here. This is in-game. And yeah, this looks like a game that is 10 years newer than Star Wars The Old Republic, way better than World of Warcraft. Pretty much every other MMO out there is way down when it comes to how it looks compared to Age of Conan. So, today I've taken the trip to the Forgotten City, which is one of the Kitai dungeons. This one you can enter at level 40 and it scales up to level 80. So it allows some good content while leveling. For my charger I have taken the ToS because something else I do like very much about Age of Conan is we don't have any global cooldown here. So I am allowed to use many spells in a very short time. And when you are used to this sort of fast-paced gameplay, it's really annoying when you start playing a game where you have things like global cooldown, which pretty much just slows you down. When I'm playing now, I'm never waiting for any cooldown at all. Really, I always have some button to press. No matter what, so that makes, at least I think, the gameplay a lot more interesting. This first part of the level is sort of boring looking, but after we have beaten the first boss here, we will come to a way more interesting part of the level, which displays a bit better how good actually the graphics is, even if this is a pretty old game now. It's like, how much? 4 years old? But still we can see, for example, we have the grass on the ground here. That is all physic enables. So when you move through it, you can see it is moving where your character is going. It's a little thing, but it adds to the immersion. Also, if we As all that have played the Old Republic knows, the textures there really low fidelity. Here we can move pretty close and we see that the textures, they doesn't look bad at all. If you look at the player, just take a look at the shield here. That is real high texture, high resolution texture, I mean. If you look at these arm rings, you can see the small details showing really clear. And of course, it's all lights cast realistically shadows, so we can see on my back there, you can see the shadows from the shield since I have the sun in my back here. Taking off the shields and the shadows moves. So even shadows from yourself affect your char as you would expect in any real-time lighting engine. So let's move on. This dungeon isn't especially hard, so there's not so much point in describing any tactics or anything like that. Pretty much any char you have, you will manage to finish it. So here we are at the first boss, and again, to compare a little bit with the Old Republic, where pretty much every boss fight, at least I thought it was like that, was just down to a gear check. If you was at the right level and had the right gear, you did manage to do it. Here we have, for example, that spell is doing now, the Massive Strike. If you don't move out of that, as you noticed I didn't do, that is going to pretty much kill you, even if you are way overgeared for the encounter. I'm using some social clothing here, so the char is looking a little bit better, but really I have all epic gear on him. Some tier 1, some tier 2, some tier 3. So I am way better geared than you need to be for this instance. So moving on, we can see this statue here. It's actually modeled, not just some flat boring textures as we would see in other MMOs. The pillars looking good, all of it. So at least for me, that everything do look good just makes it that much more fun to play it. And here is the really good looking part of the level. Getting some Indiana Jones vibes from the area. This is up in the mountains. The Kitai area is heavily based on China, so this will be like a secret green valley up in the mountains. So, likes the look of this very much. While this is very easy on an epic geared ToS, it actually isn't a bad instance to run to check while you are leveling up if you are doing things right. It will of course be more challenging to a char that is leveling up, since you won't have all gear at your own level, and you don't have all of the abilities as you will have at level 80. So, going over to the second boss here. I'm not going to move or do anything special here. There is some tactics to this boss. You can figure them out yourself. Pretty easy. Oh, crap. Got knocked down. And I don't think I'm going to use the spark right there. So, again, if you don't pay attention, you can actually die, which is a good thing. But as I said before, I so totally failed there on the knockback. You are supposed to run for cover when this tornado thingy is coming for you, but with my gear it's not that big of a deal. You see, I take some damage, but it's not enough to get me worried. And he's down. Just waiting for the boss spell to go out there. When it comes to the quality of the gear that drops, it's not especially good, so at least for these two first bosses it can help if you have just low level gear and is running the dungeon while leveling up. But on the last boss you usually do get quite a nice necklace. Even at 80 it's quite nice stats on it, so that can be of use. So as we see when we come up to the top of the stairs here, even from here you can see all the way to the temples at the other side there. Everything is looking totally crisp. Textures doesn't seem to be any lower over there than it is over here we're standing now. So again, comparing to the Old Republic, where often things that were far away usually looked way worse. Here we can see, if you look at the floor, for example, the tiles or stones at the floor, still over, as far as we can see, it still is looking good. And of course, up close, it's high resolution textures, and I can't stress how much better that is. All the lighting here is in real time, but as you see, here we are inside and the sun is not shining here. We do get some very vague shadows only. There is an option that I'm actually not using here now, and that allows also my spell effects to cast shadows on everything around it. That looks good, but actually when I'm recording it seems to have a little bit of a hit on the frame rate, so I will not be having that activated when making clips. Maybe I will be making a video just to show off that, but that will have to come later. Okay, maybe turn on the UI again. I got a feeling I forgot something now, but that doesn't matter that much. Oh, journal page. That is what I forgot. It shouldn't be very far back, so just running to get the quest update. And there we go. When it comes to my ToS build here, it's pretty much build completely around Stormfield, and just keeping Stormfield up and buffed and making that do as much damage as possible. Well, great. Actually here there was a hole in the roof allowing some sunshine in, and you can see all the lightning effects. It isn't disabled for performance gain or anything like that. But as you would expect from a realistic lighting system, it isn't much shadows you get when you are inside dark areas. And there we can also see here where we have fires on the walls. They all cast shadows, making the game look good. Taking up the UI again to get some better control over my cooldowns. Go, quest updated, and here we come for the third and last boss. Actually, I've seen some people, this is mostly due to the boss being so easy, but you can pretty much ignore any mechanics that is during this fight, but it will go faster if you play it as intended. So first of all, let's use this skull to start the fight, and there we go. You will get a healing aura during this fight, but so will the boss as well. When he goes to the altar, we just interrupt him. Pretty easy. If I would have let him continue with those rituals at the altars, he would heal back up way faster. But really, with my gear, I could probably just have DPS him down quite fast anyways. So I was talking about necklaces, and here we have an example of the types of necklaces this boss drops. Crit damage, hit rating, magic damage and mana, and combat rating, hit rating, and crit damage rating. These are not best in slot by a far run, but if you have just hit level 80, then taking a run to get these necklaces is maybe not a bad idea. You can do a crow's nest also if you get together a team, have your guild help you or something like that. But this can be done solo. So let's just see the beautiful water effects. Again, in the Old Republic, you did have water reflection from the environment. You did not have water reflections from the player, as we do here. And again, a nice view of this second half of the instance, which is pretty good looking, I think. So that ends my Tempest's run of the Forgotten City instance. Thank you for watching.